God and God alone created all these things they call our own. From the mighty to the small, the glory in them all is God's and God's alone. Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Obed, and today is Saturday, November 30th, 2024, the last Sabbath of November 2024, November. Now, the month of November is a very, very special month to me. It was in November, back in the year 2021, when I made the decision not to go back to the Seventh-day Adventist Church mainline that I used to attend ever since I knew what church was. It wasn't a very easy decision to make. But at that point, I think I had reached to a point where I believed there was valid reason to question my own belief. 3 years down the lane, I've been doing my own studies, my own researches, exploring, trying to find answers. And today I want to answer the first question of many answers. Why and how did I leave the Seventh-day Adventist Church, the mainline? I get this question a lot of times, especially owing to the fact that I surely believed the Seventh-day Adventist Church was the true church of God. And I was sincere in my quest to do the same. And even now, despite the fact that I do not go to the Seventh-day Adventist Church, mainline church, in fact, let me not put it so, despite the fact that I do not go to any church, I still study the pioneers of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I find their books a lot more intriguing than a lot of these bullshit motivational books we read out there. Now, what is this one thing that eventually managed to get me outside the church? I'll answer it briefly and simply. It is the doctrine of the Trinity. Yes, you get me right? The doctrine of the Trinity. And I'm offering a challenge. This is 3 years down the lane from 2021. And those who know me know I keep my word. If there will be anybody who really believes that God is a Trinitarian God, as put in the Seventh-day Fundamental Beliefs, and he can read and prove it using the Bible and the spirit of prophecy, that the ideas I'm going to put forward are wrong, and can challenge me on this, I'm willing to concede. I'm willing to take back all the things I've been studying. If there are people I've misled along the way in that teaching, including the ones who are going to watch this video and think it to be true, if I will be convinced any other way that I'm wrong, I promise, this is a promise, and it's a Saturday and I'm making it before God, I will take back everything I ever spoke wrong, and I will evangelize with you and preach the Trinity with you and sit in your desk so that you can at least educate me on how to understand these things. But as far as I'm concerned, I think there is a lot of darkness somewhere that needs a strong torch, a strong spotlight that can light that house, a house that is so dull and dark. And you see, there are people inside that church that can see things are wrong, but they just don't know why and what really causes it. So how did I eventually get to leave Seventh-day Adventist Church? So let me make it a short, brief story. Now, back in 2020, during the COVID time, that's the time I think I got my wife. And I was relieved of the leadership duties, and now I had a lot of time at my disposal to study, to meet new people, and of course to listen to what other people are saying about us. The Seventh Day Adventist Church has this way of keeping you busy. When you're in Adventism, if you are in, you can attest to what I'm saying. It has a way of keeping you busy. It doesn't let you to be free so that you can go and study and do all. It has a way to keep you busy within its system. Today you have a congress. Tomorrow you're planning for an event coming this Saturday. This other day you have another event about the event that went past you. The next day you have a meeting with such and such people planning about something. So you never get that time. But when I was relieved of the duties, because I never married the normal way, the church wedding thing, I didn't follow that path. I just married. So a letter was given to me and of course I knew that was going to come anyway. And I was told to be relieved. I had to go and get what was it? I have forgotten what was it. It was about either going and formalizing it in church. Of course, it was formal in that I formalized it through the state law office, but they wanted it to be in church, and they wanted me to, what was that thing? Oh yeah, to get baptized. Oh yeah, that was the thing. Get baptized. I was contemplating about that, but because of the laxity and the kind of relief I got from having been relieved from being a leader, that kind of, I enjoyed it and I took it as a gift, and I took that time to study. Now I met a guy who was not an Adventist. Okay, he used to be an Adventist, but then along the way it's kind of, he dropped the ball. And so this guy was my friend, and he welcomed me, and we had a little conversation, and he told me about where he nowadays fellowships and all these other things. And I was like, but why did you leave the Remnant Church? Stupid me. Why did you leave the Remnant Church? And what are you guys studying out there? Did you join the offshoots? Now, I know the word offshoot usually is given to people that start their own sects outside the mainline GC SDA. So my question was also the same about him, but I asked it jokingly, because when you're speaking to your friend, sometimes there is this laxity and the freedom you have to ask just about anything. And he told me, yeah, of course, that's exactly what I did. And the question was, why? And he told me, do you have your 28 fundamental beliefs? I didn't have them, but luckily, I still have the Seventh Day Adventist Bible, a huge black Bible. Behind it, there is the 28 fundamental beliefs. And so I told him, yeah, of course I have it. And he told me to read was it the second one about the Trinity? Something about that. I believe it was the second one. I can't have it. I'll get to check it. But there was a doctrine about this Trinity that he asked me to check and prove it to him. And then I checked. I tried comparing the verses that were given vis-a-vis what they were proposing. I felt like there was a gap. But I thought, okay, well, maybe the people who wrote the Bible in this section were not well studied. I could do a better job. I always believe I'm a better scholar than most people. So I said, okay, yeah, well, I'm going to do a better job and research and then confront my friend. That's what I did. And I started compiling. And then the shocker of all shocks. Because you see, when you start studying, you start from up and then you go deeper and deeper and deeper, and then you start asking, questioning, how has this doctrine been developed all through the ages? And then you go back to the pioneers and you check what they proposed, and then you start noticing your friend was actually correct and you are wrong. Now, at that point, I started having doubts. I confronted my friend once more, told him what I've been studying, told him what I've found out, put forward my hypothesis by then. Of course, when you are trying to defend something which is false, it's easily crushed. So my friend crushed that thing in no time. I tried making it complicated, and then I found out one thing. I was the one who was trying to change all the time. At one point, I thought all the three were one God. The next time, I thought, okay, well, I can segment them and see they're three different people, and then they come together like a husband and wife come together and they make one God. Of course, I've seen pastors still making that argument. All through, it was me who was shifting the shape. My friend was consistent. And then I found out the thing they call Adventist fundamental principles. Yeah, the 1882. What was that? 1880s something. 1888. Yeah, something of that kind. And that thing was there. Our pioneers actually knew the truth. And along the way, it's like something came in and threw away all the things that we knew. At that point, my faith was strongly shaken. Sure, that's the time when I started contemplating leaving going to church. Because you see, why do we go to church? It's because of God, right? And if I told you that the God you're worshipping is no different from a carved image, a carved cow image, who is created by men, what is the whole point of going to such a place to worship? A false doctrine is no different from a carved image. Yeah, both of them come from the imaginations of men. Our God doesn't work that way. That simple realization, that simple realization that I've been defeated on defining who I worship, that one made me question every other single thing. Because you see, if we are wrong on this, how many other things am I wrong about, And so, because I was defeated, I considered the defeat. I opened up to study further about what my friend was offering, and I did. And now a pile of things came up that I have never, all my days in Seventh-day Adventist Church, the mainline Seventh-day Adventist Church, I never, ever got to ask such questions. Questions like, why is it that pastors have always to go to this Bugema thing and get a degree before they can, be called shepherds, Why can the elders baptize people, And this thing you call, what is it? The Last Supper, what do they call it? Holy Communion, yes, Holy Communion. Why must it be the way it is? Who ordains? And then back to the doctrinal issues, even baptism. A whole myriad of questions came up, and I was so obsessed about studying these things. I did make a few compilations here and there, and I think in the course of this, I'll keep on sharing one by one what I found out. And I don't want anybody to watch this video and think that I'm asking somebody to, have mercy on me. No, don't pity me. All I want is refute everything I'm going to say. Okay? If I am wrong, just show that I'm wrong. And then I'll take back every wrong thing I've ever said. But if I'm right, then ask yourself, how many wrong things are you not aware of? You know? I think by asking such questions and by going through some of the things we do and, creating a healthy discourse and a healthy disagreement, we can all learn. I can learn from you, you can learn from me, and it's in that way that I think we can grow together. And there are issues like the aspect of where do you take your tithe and offering once you say, okay, now this is the same as not going to church anyway. So what do you do then with God's money? You know, these are very strong questions. I know to somebody who still goes to church, it's a very simple thing. You just go take your money, put it in a basket, and then some people called ushers are going to pick it, and then, oh, God has taken your money. not so not so to people like I, because we are like investors. We have to keep asking very important questions like, is this money going to help someone? Can I really see it working? Is it doing the glory of God? Or and now you're playing the role that the treasurers should be doing on your own. But I can tell you one thing: God has been absolutely faithful, and I've seen a lot of blessings along the way. And the very fact that I'm here telling you this story already, that's a very big move. And so, yeah, the first question: why did I leave the church? It's very simple. Because I could not defend the God I used to worship, the Trinitarian God, who you must acknowledge before you are even baptized. As an Adventist, you whenever before you are baptized, they always ask, do you believe there is one God, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, a unity of three co-eternal persons, blah 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 blah. If you say no, there is no being baptized. So I could not take that. I had gotten to a point where I thought that was an absolute lie and an error, a very serious error. And I got the pastor in my house. At some point, we had a chat and discussion about this. We could not agree. I had a few friends come over. We discussed about this, and I'm going to show you what I have. If you think you can dispute whatever I have, well, fine, you can go ahead and dispute it. It will be so much joy to respond to somebody, especially if the one responding to me goes through what I say and then makes a case against it. Having said that, thank you for taking your time to watch this little clip. And the next clip, I'll tell you about what I understand about the Trinity and why I think the Trinity doctrine is an absolute lie and something that should be banished from the Church of God, and why we should all gather together to do away with that thing. It's an evil thing. It creates an idol and puts it in church, and many people have to bow down to it. You can't be baptized without it. If you stand against it, you're chased from the pulpit, and it has the potential of dividing the church. Not the potential. It has already divided the church, because otherwise they could have been in church today. And I believe that if anybody convinces me on this doctrine, I think I can go to church. Sincerely, I will go to church. I don't lie. I'll keep my word. Now, having said that, I think I can wish you a good time. Let's meet again next time.